A little over 20 years ago, my youngest daughter, Sarah, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I really knew so little about the disease. I used to think that if you had diabetes, you just didn't eat sugar. But once you have a child that's diagnosed with a life-threatening disease, you certainly begin to understand what the disease is all about and how you can get involved.
Almost 25 years ago, if you were to have told someone that they had type 1 diabetes, to me it was a life sentence. I was 9 years old, giving myself shots every day, and my father just didn't see that as that's not a life that you want your daughter to live. Ever since the day I was diagnosed, my dad has made it his goal to find a cure for this disease.
A dear friend of mine, Benny LaRussa, his daughter was about the same age as Sarah, and Chelsea, and she was diagnosed with type 1. We came together and began to get involved originally with the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, which helps to raise money to find a cure. And through our efforts with JDRF, we met a gentleman by the name of Peter Van Ettenly, and we approached Peter and asked, what's it going to take for JDRF to fund more research here at UAB to help find a cure? And his answer was simple. UAB needs to make an institutional commitment to diabetes research.
We live in the belt of diabetes here in Alabama and in the South, where there are so many people out there that have this disease, but there's so many out there that are struggling for treatment, struggling to find even just insulin and to be able to afford it. And he sees that. He thought UAB would be a perfect opportunity to bring in a world-class facility to find a cure. So when my dad and Benny approached UAB, they said, you know, we're not just gonna have a research facility, it has to be world-class, the best of the best. And UAB committed to that.
Our mission is really to help all people affected by diabetes, and what we're trying to do is develop better therapeutic approaches, better diagnostic tools, and then also obviously provide the best possible care for people that already have the disease.
Benny and my dad had to go out to organizations to help with funding, because the research that they're doing it's very expensive, but it's how we're going to find a cure.
So when Sarah's father came to me and said, hey, I want you to meet somebody who's done a lot of research on diabetes and might have a cure for it, it kind of blew me away. I said, are you kidding me? She really might have a cure here in Birmingham. And she said, yeah, she's been funded primarily from UAB, but they need additional funds. And I said, yeah, I'll meet with her. I'll be glad to meet with her. Her research blew me away. She blew me away. The real possibilities that we could really be on the edge of a cure for diabetes is just an amazing thing to even think about.
Most all families have been affected by diabetes. And to know that right down the street from where we live, UAB's Comprehensive Diabetes Center is doing all these wonderful things. And once we went down there and saw the scope and magnitude and the impact that the CDC is having was astonishing. It was really a no-brainer.
We're really kind of at the epicenter of this diabetes epidemic, and so I think it's even more important that we are here and that we're taking on that challenge. I mean, it's obviously a challenge, but it's also an opportunity to really make a difference and to move things forward. So especially when we get into the clinical aspects of this research, we have a lot of people that would really benefit from it. So we're hoping that the people here will be the first ones to have access to some of these new developments.
When you're talking about a cure for diabetes, it's not days or weeks or months, it's years. But we have come a long way in 20 years. And having UAB at the forefront of this effort to find a cure for diabetes is just fantastic for our community, our state, and our region.
They were asking for a big stretch. We realized we need to step up to the plate here because we can actually make a difference in the world, you know, with curing this disease.
I remember the day Emmett called me and said, we're going to do this, Sarah. You know, we believe in this research facility, we believe there's a cure, and we want to play a part of that. I was emotional, cried on the phone to him. That's, you know, our COO. I just sat there and I cried because I was like, you believe, just like I believed since I was diagnosed, that there's going to be a cure.
And when Sarah helped introduce us to MPT, that was obviously a huge step forward, and they have been really tremendous colleagues and kind of partners in this whole development. Whatever we do would not be possible without their support.
They have to date provided millions of dollars to help fund research at UAB, and it's amazing to see how those funds have been leveraged into advancements of certain types of drugs that hopefully will lead to a cure.
I feel honored to work for a company that is so passionate about something that I'm so passionate about. We can play a part in finding a cure.